Hi there, welcome back. I'm Lee Sharon, and this is the Root Cellar at Old Tavern Farm. I had a few minutes this morning, and I wanted to give you guys a quick tour of what the state of our root cellar and my upstairs pantry and all the seedlings looks like at this time in late April. As you can see in the background there, my onions are still really holding out well. I won't harvest those until later this summer. They actually have arrived. They're behind me, and I'll show you that. I keep everything kind of down here when I am getting ready to garden because it's still pretty cold down here and dark. So yeah, so come along with me real quick and I'll show you what I've got growing and what I've got left over from my winter stores, which actually is kind of a lot. This summer I'm going to clean out this root cellar and spray down the shelves with some bleach solution. We were going to build a cold room down here, but the state of the supply chain, as everybody knows, is costly and time consuming, and so I think I'm going to limp along with this for another year and see where we get. But yeah, come along and look. Okay, so out in the main part of the cellar, I have my potato buckets and my flower bins. The potatoes are pretty much gone. I've got to take those out and clean those and let them sit in the sun for a day or two. Obviously, I've got some flour. That's actually white wheat flour, so I don't use that as much as I do my artisan flour upstairs. And then over here inside the root cellar, up here is where I keep just odds and ends. Those are wine glasses and some like serviceware that I keep down here. I have to keep it covered up because this is a real stone root cellar, and I do get some mold problems. So that's the reality. I'm not trying to make it look too fancy, but odds and ends, store-bought stuff, I buy canned goods when they're on sale and keep them down here. Just different commercial products, jams and jellies and pickles. Actually, I think that tomato paste over there needs to move to the commercial area. And then our onion starts have arrived. I'm just keeping them down here so they can be not jammed into their shipping box. Just laid them out in a piece of shipping styrofoam. And I've still got my dried beans and peas and popcorn and other stuff like that. The shelves are getting a little thin. Again, that tuna, actually that's my canned meat section. It probably needs to be over here, but I have plenty of pickles left. Plenty. Relishes. There's some dilly beans up there. We've kind of eaten through those. Those are good. Canned beans. Those are pressure canned beans on the right there. More pickles. Lots of tomato products left, so that's good. This is my area where I keep my peanut butter, which I've got plenty of. My little lotion bars, and this is my area where I keep my fats. That's bacon grease on the left and olive oil. I don't do any artificial fats here. This is where I keep my preparations. Mustard seed, infused oils, my medicinal preparations. I've strained out my echinacea and just put it in a dark green bottle to store in case I need it, which I haven't for a while. My extracts, and I will link to the video where I make my extracts. I've got all kinds of flavors down here. My booze. There's wine and vodka and some of that coffee stuff that's on the left over there. I bought that 3 years ago. I've never even opened it. Different spices. My salt, Redmond's real salt. That stuff is awesome, you guys. You got to get yourself some. And it lasts forever. And salt is really good for you. That Redmond's real salt has all kinds of trace minerals in it, and it's fantastic. Just different stuff that I buy on sale and store empty bottles for preparation. Salad dressing, olives, lemon juice, and then some pedestal trays that I Obviously have to keep covered. Extra containers. In that bag on the right there is beeswax. And then down here is more of my, I've really got to clean in here. I'm not ashamed because this is a working root cellar, but it does need to be cleaned. Okay, so this is, I'm down to 1 string of red onions, more or less, 2 strings of yellow onions, and then some little smaller kind of stewing onions. Some of these have started to sprout, which I'm gonna let them, and then I'll just eat the tops. You can see there's one here that is pushing out of its jacket, which is interesting, but that's okay. I have plenty to get through to the end of summer, and then that's when the new harvest will come in. But back to cleaning. This is completely stone cellar, so in the summer I will just walk out here, and there is a door right here that goes outside. You guys remember this house is 200 and almost 20 years old, so it's a little on the rustic side, but you know what, it does the trick. This is the door to the outside, and I just open this door, and it leads me straight out into the garden, and I can take everything outside, set it on the wall out there, and then I just turn around in here and I get everything cleaned up. So, all right, that's my root cellar. Okay, this is a room that I don't show very often. It is my laundry room, and it is also my overflow pantry. So I keep dry goods, things like toilet paper, which is behind the door here. And also things like paper towels and dry goods like oatmeal. Just some overflow potatoes. And under this, what I call a shelf dress, is things like crackers, even though I don't really eat them. My husband likes them. Rice, sugar. A lot of these things would not only be attractants to rodents, they would also get their texture, their quality would be affected by being in the root cellar because of the dampness down there. So some of my baked goods, sugar items, my bakery supplies. This stuff all has to live up here. So I made this little dress for this ugly shelving unit, as I made another dress for this ugly Victorian table, which I inherited. I love the person who gifted it to us, my mother-in-law, but it's not my favorite piece. So I made a little, sort of a little kimono for it. And this is how I do my laundry. I separate my whites, my delicates, and my darks. And then I don't have to have some ugly factory-made piece of clothing separator in my beautiful laundry room. I've got more supplies over here, dog blankets and animal blankets and things like that. So yeah, let's go look at the seedlings. Some of our tomatoes are sort of in life support over here on this side table in my kitchen. I'll put a list in the description box of what we're growing, tomatoes and peppers wise, so I can make this a quicker video because there's a lot of different varieties here. But yeah, they're just by sort of a sunny, if you can say that, sunny-ish window, continuing to grow. Over here on the dog crate, we have a collection of peppers, some of which are really doing quite well. I grow peppers for meal purposes, so the larger bells, poblanos, that type of pepper. I do grow cayennes for medicinal purposes, and so I've got a few of those, but these are all larger style peppers that we grow here. And also our jack-o'-lantern pumpkins are doing pretty well. The true leaf has begun to form on almost all of them. And even though they're getting leggy, I am not too concerned about it. Aside from the fact that our growing season is shorter here, the other problem that my husband reminded me of is that we have a very rich and diverse bird population on this property because of our habitat, which is wonderful, and we love our birds, but they tend to go after these first shoots on our pumpkins, melons, and sunflowers, and they just yank them out of the ground. So we wanted to try this year, even though melons and gourds don't typically like to be moved, they like to be direct sown. I'm going to hope that I get a nice healthy root system in these pots, and I can transplant them with minimal damage. So that's what I'm gonna try to do this year, and I'll see if it works. Over here in the greenhouse on the bottom we have peppers, more of the same, more tomatoes, and I switch all the tomatoes back and forth into and out of this greenhouse. The ones that are looking like they're struggling, I put in the greenhouse for a while because it's still very cold outside. So we are having an early season. We're getting hits and misses of warm weather, but it's kind of helping us to sort of push harder than we might normally. So we basically have plants on pretty much every windowsill, and we still have lots of seedlings that we could easily transplant, but we're just sort of having them in stasis at the moment so that we can share with friends, or we can maybe sell a few, and we'll just see what happens. We still really have a month before tomatoes and peppers can be planted out. So yeah, wish us luck. So far everything's looking pretty good. So as always, I just want to thank you so much for visiting. I want to welcome all of you new subscribers because I see you and I welcome you, and please help yourself to all the dozens of old episodes way back from a couple of years ago. You'll see how things have developed over the past couple of years, and I'd like to encourage you guys to share my videos with your friends and continue on this journey with us in self-sustainable living and homesteading and cooking and stewarding animals and all the fun stuff that we do here at Old Tavern Farm. So big hugs to all of you, and until next time, bye-bye.